They're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Hey, they're the dog people, aren't they?
Okay, let's.
Anyway.
Do we have an intro?
Fuck you.
All right, we're done.
Is that the intro?
Yeah, count us in. It's fine, fair. I get it. I know. I understand. That's fair, honest. Like, what am I supposed to say? Yeah, I get, you right. It was funny for the first 45 minutes, and then it kind of,
Kind of petered out, yeah.
I kind of realized that was maybe not that funny.
Toby, every time there's a ruckus, you're right in the middle of it.
Take cover! Sheesh. Everyone's so sensitive around here. But one day, I want to lead your sleigh, Santa.
Well, I hope you do too.
I'm going on Santa's test run. What? Now's my chance. Huh? Oh, oh, oh. Hey, is this the North Pole?
No, it's Iowa.
Iowa what?
We need to get him stronger, so that when Santa gets here on Christmas Eve, Toby will be able to lead a sleigh.
How are we gonna do that?
We're gonna have to do lots and lots of training.
Where is Christmas? The best time of the year.
Where's the dog?
Well, boss, we went to the house just like you said, and
It was haunted. There was ghosts. And I wasn't that scared, but he was scared, and he was like, oh, it's paranormal activity.
Get me the dog!
I just wanted to be someone important, you know?
Toby, look around. You've got a room full of believers.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rough Cuts. Don't shake your goddamn head at me. You still don't shake your head. We just are trying to do the intro. Stop. We do a podcast about good boys and bad movies where we watch a bad dog movie and then immediately talk about it. I'm your host, Ilian, and this is the other host, Moix, my
I'm
co-host.
very mad.
You should be. I did it just to piss you off, so yes. I'm Mariah Carey this year.
You Mariah Carey so bad.
I Mariah Carey'd the hell out of you.
I'm like still in my Halloween gear. I haven't changed. You're just sitting there like tapping a fucking hammer on the ice.
On the ice. I've been frozen since last year. That's
After
right.
10,000 years, I'm free. It's time to Christmas.
I had to go for groceries the day after Halloween. By the way, everyone, hi, this is November 3rd for the recording day. And I had to go for groceries yesterday. And so or 2 days ago, literally the day after Halloween. And they were already putting up Christmas gear. So when Boyk said, hey, what movie should we watch? I went, it's been unlocked. You have to watch a Christmas film. And I picked Up on the Wooftop. Up on the Wooftop.
This movie has an alternate title.
No, Up on the Wooftop. Okay, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for a
Sorry, what?
There, okay, I put it in. It's in post. It's good. The laugh.
Okay. The what? The alternate title for this movie is Up on the Rooftop.
Yes.
Which I guess that depends on what part of the country you're from. If you're from the Northeast, then it's still rough top.
Yeah, then it's still
So it's still a joke.
God, did they not realize? And the answer is, okay, no, they didn't. I get it. But still, did they not realize that, like, that's nothing. That's less than nothing.
Wait, this movie had nothing going on at times and had no idea, just nothing? Just nothing? Nothing's happening.
I don't...
It's just a neighbor. Hey, can I borrow a cup of sugar? Okay, let's get him. Let's get him. Hey, puppy.
God, this house looks really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, just turn it off.
It's one of the new ones.
Oh my god, what are they doing? Nothing is happening!
Jinx.
I'm so bad!
They're playing with the sink. It's cool.
Nothing is happening!
Isn't that funny?
No!
Please watch it. Don't pick up your phone. I'll know if you pick up your phone.
I'm picking up my phone! Nothing is happening!
You didn't miss a lot, but I feel like that's where we're in right now.
The faucet. That's happening.
Oh, brother. One is here, Stan. It is a ghost, Stan. I'm not gonna.
Okay, well, here, let me just read out a couple of my very quick notes that I have here. 43 minutes, nothing is happening. 50, what are we doing? So I'm gonna say that yes, they didn't.
Their
have a
special
whole
effects
lot
was
going
turning on the faucet and flicking a light switch.
That's not fair. They also put PNGs over things in the beginning.
And they had pre-built-in magic effects from some software. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the sled riding away.
They sure did. This movie starring Mr. Belding, aka Dennis Haskins from Saved by the Bell.
Mm-hmm.
We have a long history of dog movies starring washed-up actors. I'm sorry, Dennis Haskins. That's not fair.
No, that's pretty fair.
You're not as bad as oh god, what were the other?
Well, Chevy Chase.
There's Chevy Chase. Clearly, there's also the cocaine Santa party Santa.
Oh, Ed Asner.
Ed Asner. Yeah.
Oh God, Ed Asner. You can't.
So
call
we
Ed
have
Asner
a new
washed
Santa.
up. I mean,
we have Dennis Haskins with Ed Asner and Chevy Chase. A long lineage.
Oh, that's mean to
great
date.
Santas.
Okay, that is too mean to him. Yeah, that's way too mean.
God damn it.
I looked at my notes, by the way, and I saw two other notes in a row that I also really like, which is, I love how much you hate this. And then at 20 minutes, you hate this so much.
You didn't watch the movie. You just wanted to laugh at me.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. No, I did watch the movie. That was the worst part, is that, see, that's why it eventually faded, and I knew it was going to happen. I knew that what I was doing to myself, but also,
yeah,
it doesn't mean that I can't still feel regretted about 50 minutes in.
Yeah. This was shot entirely in Iowa City, Iowa, which I know for a fact because they show it multiple times.
Yeah, it's yet another one of those ones where at the end of the credits, it's like, thank you to all the wonderful people of blank city.
And also somewhere in Illinois, where the director/writer is from. This was for an Iowa Film Festival.
Which is where all of these movies that are from a city are done. Yeah.
And
local
afterwards, in an interview we were reading from the director, he's like, I wanted to make this movie so that people would notice it's from Iowa. And also, when it's the holiday season, you would go see it because it's something to do.
I was inspired by John Hughes. Yeah, oh God, there's something to do. I was inspired by John Hughes. You can tell all of his movies are in Chicago, and I wanted my movies to all be in Iowa, and for you to know about Iowa.
Everybody loves Iowa.
But here's the thing. There's things that happen in Chicago.
Are there?
More than Iowa. But also...
But like...
God, we should get that exact quote. What was the exact quote was... Like, there's a thing to do in Iowa?
This movie is a thing you can do in Iowa this season.
That's literal. That was the actual quote.
It's
from
something
the
like that, yeah.
Writer, director, producer.
It's something to do.
It's a thing to do.
You're in Iowa. You got nothing better to do.
Like, I really wanted to capture the Iowa feel in that you won't have anything else to do, so fuck it. That does captured a lot of the feeling of this film, to be fair.
This was shot over 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
in, I think, 3 locations.
Yes.
There's
There's
the
not
director / writer's house,
Mhm.
mansion, three garage mansion.
Yep. Yeah, his McMansion in the suburbs.
Yep. There's the bar in Iowa City.
Yep.
Which has both a Stern Rolling Stones pinball table
Yes.
and a big buck hunter game.
God, I want to go to that bar. Give me like $20. I can spend some time there.
And then the other shooting location is the Mall of Iowa
mall?
City.
Which it's the Mall of Iowa City because they show the signs for it to make sure you know
Constantly.
you're in Iowa.
They also show like local ice cream. Like the whole point of this
Yes.
is let's say I live in Iowa City. This comes up on screen. I'm taking my kids to it, and then I point at the screen. I'm like, "That's Iowa. That's Iowa."
Hey, I was there. You're just.
I know that. That's Iowa.
You're Leo with his beer pointing at the TV.
There's another director that does this that we like.
Yes,
which is the Dogman.
I was
director.
the Dogman director. Yep.
He's like, hey, that's Michigan.
It's
I know
Michigan, baby. Dogman's
Right?
from Michigan. You got to do it about Michigan then.
And then all of his stuff's in there. And like, oh, that's that. I know that. Like,
It was all the local
it's all local
library.
film festivals,
Yep.
yeah. So it's the same thing. And
Same
you know what?
thing.
It's cheap to shoot there. And also if you get funding from your local ice cream shop.
Yes. This dude also could have funded this film himself because, oh my god, his fucking house.
His fucking bitch. I'm sitting there. I'm so mad at this person for having a house this nice.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm watching this, I'm like, God damn, that kitchen's nice. Holy shit, that house is huge. How much? 3 cars? Like, what? I look at this and I'm like, impossible. Can never
That's got to
afford.
be way more than 800,000 in Seattle.
I like the sound of that. Oh, is that a red marble?
fat beat.
Huh. Wonder what the resale value of this property is.
That's what I was talking about! What?
Boix has been looking for housing, by the way, in Seattle.
I'm
For
so fucking
subtext for
mad.
this. This has been an actual thing for you for a while, which I've known you're going through. You're like looking for places where you're like, man, I should probably try and like get like a condo or something at some point. It's like, oh my god, like the real
It's
estate
only
market's
400,000 for a condo. Can't be that bad, you know?
And then we got this one, and it's like this open concept, gigantic kitchen with an island sink in it that opens up into an open concept library with like, kid you not, like 20 some bookshelves of like.
That kitchen
oak.
is larger than some apartments I've seen.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. And then as I'm lamenting the fact that this
Yes.
fucking McMansion that this poor family is living in, supposedly, is so nice. The dog on screen says something about, wow, I wonder what the resale value is.
Yeah, what do you resell value of this place is? Oh my god damn it, boy. Stop channeling the dogs.
Just to make me angrier.
We're so in tune with canines that you can just like get into their heads immediately inside of reactionary weird directors that do family Christmas dog movies
that are trying to kill time in their movie to reach a run length of 80 minutes. So
Yeah.
they're just having their actors ADR random fucking shit.
God, there's so much of that in this.
Yeah.
There's
There
so
are
much
some
nothingness
interesting-
happening.
There are some interesting shots though.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you can see some interesting things from a director who's trying to do weird goofiness.
Mhm.
Like there's just random horror shots for no reason in the middle of this Christmas movie
with music,
with stings and like it. You know what it feels like? It's the 10th year anniversary of Too Many Cooks.
Yes.
Actually, this week.
Yep. Yes.
This
yep.
week. And it feels like Too Many Cooks, where they're having a normal family scene. The dog barks. Everything stops. A horror sting happens.
Yeah.
The characters look at the dog. You're like, is a murderer going to come up and attack them? What's happening?
Yeah, that was a literal scene in this movie where the boss of the main character is there over for Christmas
The
Eve.
dad.
And he stares at the dog. Like, after that, like, there's like this dead silence all of a sudden. A horror sting. He turns, looks at the dog. And it's just that. Just them staring at each other for like 20
it's like
seconds.
an Adult Swim joke or a Tim and Eric joke or something. It's very unhinged.
Yes. And honestly, I do think, like, as much as this movie's not good, but it's not that bad either. Like you were saying, like, there are some brief moments. And I think that some of those, I want to give them a little bit of credit. They didn't go fully unhinged with it in the way that they needed to. But they kind of knew that it was jokes. Like, they were actually trying to do that as a joke.
Sort of leaning into it.
They were sort of leaning into it.
Yeah.
They could have actually, like, they were kind of close where this movie's shit, but there's a few brief glimmers like that where you're like, man, you know what? If they actually leaned into this, they could go somewhere. Because, like, later on, too, another thing that happens is, so there's a Santa who is a criminal.
The mall Santa.
The mall Santa and his two elves are criminals that are hacking into the mall mainframe to steal credit cards. Very dumb family dog movie bullshit. And they have the main characters come and stop this Santa. And they literally get into like a kung fu fight with this old man for like 20 seconds. And they know that that's a joke. Like, so they were really close a couple times to like, okay, they could almost make something that would be worth watching.
But the Santa didn't sit on a butt plug that was supposed to be a, like, we keep going back to that scene because Everything Everywhere All at Once is a fucking fantastic movie, but
it's just the perfect film.
They should have gone further, is what we're saying.
Yes, if they had gone a little further with those, this movie could have been pretty interesting. Unfortunately, they just don't. They pull their punches too much.
Yeah, we also get the classics of Dutch angles and GoPro shots.
Oh god, yes.
The classic indie director, like, local film festival type of thing. And I actually think they're kind of interesting if they did more of them. If the whole movie was Dutch angles.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it would be more interesting than here and there for no reason.
Yep. It's one of those things where, again, just like, they needed to go 10% shittier.
Right? Or 10% better.
Yeah, I would say more like 50% better. 50% better or 10% shittier.
Right. No, that makes sense. It's
yes. You gotta go a fair bit better. But if you go just a little shittier,
Yeah. I couldn't find how much this movie cost, production-wise. I was trying to look that up. It's not listed.
Yeah.
So they didn't list their production cost. But I did find how much it made. Plus our $1.50 that we rented.
Thank you, patrons, by the way, because Boyks didn't. The worst part,
you're like, you're gonna hate this. You're gonna fucking hate
You're gonna hate this, and I did this as a joke, specifically to fuck with Boyks. And the whole time, he has to pay $1.50 for the privilege. I felt a little bad about that. I did feel a little bad about, like, okay, I'm doing this just as a joke to troll my friend Boyks, and also I'm gonna make him pay for it.
So, local film festival holiday movie 2015. Some of it looked like it was like 2005.
Yeah, we were a little surprised.
Some of it looked really bad.
The opening in particular, like looked like a bad DVD transfer. Elf tanning spa, see?
Oh, these are. Ooh, that looks bad. Ooh.
No. It's
fine.
Man,
that looks bad.
No. What I always do when I film a movie is take JPEGs and put them all over.
Yeah. Oh man, that looks bad.
They might have been PNGs. I could be underestimating them.
Is this 2015?
Wait, this is 2015?
Yeah.
I'm overestimating them.
Yeah, I think they got somebody else to do the opening, and they just hired them like $100 over a weekend to do it or something.
Or it might have been stock footage because it was just like it was like drone shots over forest. So it might have been like it might have actually been older footage.
It was cheap, is what it was, but
but like it also might be older footage too, right? Like when we're saying that it looked like 2005, it might have actually been old stock footage.
How much could a movie cost? Like $10? $20?
Probably something like that.
I'm gonna
with
put a guess
3 locations.
Here. 3 locations shot locally over 2 weeks with a very small actor cast
and a bunch of sponsors.
And a bunch of sponsors. I'm gonna guess this movie probably costs 50 to 75,000, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds.
That
yeah,
sounds
I was gonna say probably around
right
50,000 sounds kind of right. Yeah.
for like a very local indie thing.
Yeah. With like,
how much
and again
money-
with a bunch of sponsorship.
How much money do you think they made off of this as a holiday film? That they said was successful. They got 1,000 people to show up to
I would say
the
I would say
premiere.
I'd say they made like. Oh god, this could be so much of a range. I'm going to say if they're saying that it was successful, then I'm going to say they made 250 to 500K.
258,000.
Okay, yeah.
So they at least tripled to quintupled their money, is my guess.
Yeah.
On that. So like a good investment for a somewhat okay product.
Yep. This movie,
The right time, right place. Yeah.
The worst crimes from this movie is honestly that, again, like, it's not quite bad enough to be really interesting and not quite good enough to, like, really be anything on the other side either.
You can tell the director had seen the Buddies films specifically.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there are a lot of Buddies influences, which only a fucking dog movie sicko would
Only
notice.
fucking perverts would get them. Yeah.
But I noticed.
It's just like a vibe, right? Like there's just
It's this fucking gross vibe that just emanates from the screen.
It's almost like for whatever reason, even though I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly why, there's something with like the lighting in a lot of scenes. It's a thing that you can have in photography too, where like just depending on the lighting, people can look like you photoshopped them in or green screened them in, even though you didn't.
Yes.
And it just kind of has that look for a lot of it, which is just like, it just makes it seem cheaper than it even is. Do you know what I mean? Like, 'cause it just feels kind of unreal.
Some of it could be the angles, some of it could be the lighting.
Exactly.
They used, I think, like a $3,000 cinema.
Yeah, the Blackmagic cameras are really good.
Blackmagic is what it listed on the IMDb.
Yeah, Blackmagic is like a very good professional brand that does shoot like actual Hollywood movies and stuff. Like they're good.
So it's not like it was shot on cheap consumer, you know.
No.
Or iPhones. We've seen a shot on an iPhone before.
Yes.
For movies, and that is very noticeable.
A lot of this movie looks pretty decent, honestly, for a lot of the shots. And like they have some weird choices, like you said, with some of the Dutch angles, or the other one that you noticed right away and I was laughing at was when they have the bad Santa in his van and they like do like that cut that's suddenly like super tight in on his face.
Yeah, like you would see
that's like kind of artsy.
Artsy, and it's like, oh god, what's he thinking? What's going on in his head, you know? Like,
but it doesn't match what was going on in the scene, really. It was just this weird shot. Like, it's a good shot, but it just doesn't match the vibe at all.
The director wanted to do that shot and thought it looked cool. They didn't think it would fit the film.
It didn't fit anything, so like, why was there?
But you'll see this, like, oh wow, that's the Santa. That's him. He's the bad guy. It zooms in, he's like, oh. And you're like, oh, are they going to do this the whole film? Is that Santa, like,
just like the eyes
problems or
bridge
like...
of his nose, like and with like good depth of field, like it was really weird.
Like,
it was such
you would expect that in like an alien movie or a spooky sci-fi or just psychological thriller or something, right? Like,
or like a drama where it's like really deep, intense, like thinking, like there's like a big, do you know what I mean? Like really introspective moment, but instead it's just Santa dog criminal. Weird.
The plot of this movie is very basic, by the way.
Yes.
So, it's the standard dog works for Santa. Dog gets lost with the family. Family grows to like dog, and then they take the dog in, and that's the end of the movie. Everything that happens in between is just nonsense.
So much filler. There's so much filler in this too.
And a lot of that filler is, look, it's Iowa. Which is great. But some of the core concepts of what they've written are fucking weird. In a way that could be interesting.
Do you want to talk about what they have for dogs in this universe? Why are dogs the Santa?
So the movie starts off with an elf giving a PowerPoint to a bunch of dogs. And then he's like, you as our elf on the shelf surveillance dogs need to go through evidence of children's activities throughout the year and tell me if they've been naughty or nice based on how many times they recite the Pledge of Allegiance and the preamble to the Constitution.
See, I that was actually a pretty good joke at the beginning for the PowerPoint. They're like, look at little Susie. She's a good girl. She speaks the preamble to the Constitution in traditional Latin for herself every morning. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty good.
And this other kid, like, hits people with a stick.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, that's the other example.
Cool.
They didn't have a good one for the bad kid. The bad kid one, they just did not know what to do with.
Okay. But, like, I was trying to figure if they were trying to give a message, because that message right there is very right-wing. Like, oh, the good kids listen to, Christian metal and
well, and I
pray every day.
The reason why I knew that wasn't... It's too goofy, though. Like, they very much didn't seem like it was serious. And then later on, with that side of things, because I see where you were a little worried about that, and it seemed like I thought the opposite, that it was too knowing, so it was going to be left people making fun of that kind of thing, because they also have this businessman who's sitting in on Santa's meetings,
yes,
which is a subplot for half the movie until they just
Santa's
drop it.
Financial report.
Yes, he's doing his financial reporting, and he's just business guy. And when Santa says, hey, like, we need to, give toys to all the kids and stuff, he's like, socialist.
Socialist? Don't you know we're in a recession, Santa?
Yeah. And they have a whole thing where he's like, we're in the red. We have no money. Like, you can't do these things when we don't have any money. And then that's the last scene he's in. They just...
No.
And
they buried him.
The other elves... Yeah, the other elves make fun of him by faking that he farted, and then...
And he's like, that was a fake fart. I didn't actually fart.
That's the last scene of him in the movie. They have this whole subplot for like 30 minutes of this dude, and then all of a sudden they just dump it.
But here's the important thing.
Yeah.
All of Santa's surveillance dogs.
Yes. Yeah, right.
Are different breeds.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are small like Chihuahuas. Some of them are large, like German Shepherds or whatever.
Yes.
And then there's Toby, who is a Jack Russell Terrier. And somehow Toby is too small, even though Santa has other smaller dogs that are
specifically the dog that's making fun of him for being too small is a Chihuahua.
Is a Chihuahua, which isn't a joke.
No, I was gonna say that that's the weird part, is because they've made some knowing jokes at this point, and then all of a sudden they just show like this with it's very obviously not played for laughs.
But
real weird.
But the important thing is that Toby fucking sucks and everybody hates him.
Yes. Yeah. Constant reminders throughout the entire film of what an absolute piece of shit this dog is.
Just a worthless dog.
Just a total mess of a dog. But he gets in trouble from Santa.
He can teleport, though.
He can teleport. God. Which is a thing that means they could just solve the plot in like 5 seconds. But... Toby is getting in trouble. Santa berates him. Well, berates him. Santa takes him into his office and goes, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Toby, you're a real piece of shit, dog.
You're a real piece of shit, but I still love you because I'm Santa.
That boy ain't right,
And then Toby takes this as, Santa said I'm perfect the way I am. I'm gonna go and fuck with his sleigh. So he gets... He stuck
becomes
on the
a
sleigh,
stowaway,
falls out of the sleigh and falls into a chimney, splattering dog parts all over this family.
So when you say falls out of the sleigh,
yes,
we're talking like a mile up in the sky.
Yes.
And
he's an impact crater.
He doesn't fall, he plummets.
Yes.
Into that chimney.
But he's a magic dog.
Those kids are finding a dead dog that morning.
Well, like I said, that is a bad scene when they wake up. Oh my God, what did Santa give us? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then he is now a home invader and sneaks into their bedrooms. And the little girl, Morgan, I think is her name, finds him. And he's like, wow, is this the North Pole? No, it's Iowa.
Oh no. Iowa.
And then the dog's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, I've done a terrible mistake.
And then he farts, of course. But we find out that the dog hates, the dad hates dogs.
It's a dog movie.
Clearly. And wants to get rid of that dog. That dog immediately pulls down their Christmas tree, yada, yada, yada. We're introduced to Santa and his evil elves at the mall. Santa, by the way, is CrossFit Santa.
Yes.
I noted.
Yeah,
and there's a scene where
later.
there's a girl asking for Game of Thrones season 5. She's like 6 years old.
Yeah.
That's kind of a joke.
Well, and he tells her, he's like, I do CrossFit, I could end you or something, right?
I
like,
will fucking destroy you, child.
to that kid. There's some good moments with the Santa, actually.
And I guess this whole thing happens. Toby gets away, and the elves are like, I think the elves find out eventually that they can't find Toby.
Well, what it is, they see the dog in front of them, and they run to jump on the dog, and then he uses his teleportation powers and blips away. So they go, oh my god, that dog's magic! We've got to steal it.
The elves? Oh, you're talking about the mall elves.
Oh, the mall elves. Oh,
I'm talking about
you're
the
talking about the
Santa's
elves.
elves.
Oh my god. Too many goddamn elves in this. I see where we're getting. Yes,
I'm not talking about crime elves.
You're not talking about the crime elves. You're talking about real elves.
Because Santa's elves. You son of a bitch.
They're both Santa's elves. What am I supposed to? They're both Santa elves. There's just a crime Santa and a good Santa. There are two Santas inside of everybody, boys.
Santa's elves take daily checks of their surveillance dog count.
Yes.
They're like, Toby's escaped. What should we do? Fuck him.
Everyone hates that shit.
Yeah, I want a worthless dog. But Santa's like, no, we have to spend all of our money and time to find Toby.
But we're in the red! That means we have no money!
Oh, man, he farted. Anyways, do the mission. So
they never address the budget thing. That's just...
They don't. But they get Leroy, another elf, to go look for Toby.
Mm-hmm.
By tricking him, I guess.
Yes, that is exactly what happens.
And to do Operation Eagle Claw.
Yeah.
Which is their military term for finding a magic dog that can teleport home at any moment, but decides not to.
They make a big military operation name to trick Toby because he's like, wow, that'll be cool.
Or to trick Leroy, yeah.
Or Leroy.
Toby's the dog.
Yep.
And also the biker.
And also the biker, because the elf goes down and immediately Pee Wee Hermans himself into a bar.
He sure does. There's a tequila scene that happened off screen that we didn't get to see, and I'm
legally
so mad.
Could not show it. They filmed it. We know they filmed it, but it's legally not allowed to be shown.
So we have a buddies movie.
Yeah.
We have an elf on a shelf, an elf movie, like that movie Elf. You remember that movie? What holiday themed movie have we not done so far?
So when you talk about Elf, when they were setting up Christmas decorations at the grocery store, the first thing I saw were all of the Christmas cards they had that were fucking elf themed with Will Ferrell on the front.
The Will Ferrell elf is such a big thing now, and I don't get it, to be honest.
It's not a good movie. It's not a good movie. It sucks.
So the one holiday movie we haven't used so far in this film is Home Alone.
Oh, yeah.
And we have two evil criminal elves.
So then we cut to the bumbling
because Mall Santa's like, get that dog, I want that dog. And I don't remember why.
Because they saw it disappear.
Oh, because they saw it teleport away from the mall cops, because we also have a Blart movie in here somewhere.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird, disparate elements that are just filler in the middle of this. All the, budgeting business meetings that Santa has that eventually just go nowhere.
I think they were just, brainstorming. They said they took years of writing this and brainstorming ideas, but they didn't, edit it together into a cohesive idea, so...
Yeah, there's no real through line on this. This is a movie... Well, probably the biggest crime, actually, as I think about it, this movie commits. Because I think that a lot of... We're talking about how it's, kind of decent in a lot of ways. Is that it's not done out of any kind of love of filmmaking. There was no thing that they wanted to do other than, I can probably make this profitable.
I think...
it feels very much like that kind of thing.
What he wanted to do was he wanted to make a movie that you would go to because it's something to do in Iowa.
Because it's something to do in Iowa.
Yeah. And I think that was successful.
That is far...
It was something to do. I mean...
If I was in Iowa... why?
I can't believe they should put that on the box. It's something to do.
They should have put it on the box so we know, because we're not in Iowa, to not watch it. We don't need something to do.
Anyway, so the criminals go to the house so that they can do a Home Alone scene where they break in, and then the dog stops them by doing literally nothing.
Oh, so bad.
As other people off screen are ringing a doorbell or playing a doorbell noise and flicking the lights and they're turning on the faucet themselves.
Yes, I was going to say
see them put their hand on it and turn it on.
Yeah, the funniest thing was the faucet, because the faucet keeps turning on like it's a spooky ghost, when it's just those faucets that are the no-touch faucets, where they're like the lamps that you
it's
used to touch.
It's just censoring it and touching it, yeah.
Those are common, like that. We could have put that into our sink in our house, because that's a thing that people do where
well, the characters remark, oh, it's just one of those new faucets.
Yeah.
So like, even they know it's that.
But then they still think it's a haunted thing. And this was kind of amazing when I was like, okay, I picked this as the joke from going from Halloween to Christmas.
From Ghost Dog to Ghost Dog.
And then it immediately has all this like spooky haunted house joke thing. They play like horror music over it and all these kinds of things. Like they kind of play up the horror angle weirdly enough. Why is there a horror element to this?
I don't know.
Family.
Because it's quirky. It's quirky, I guess. But anyway, so the criminals can't get the dog. They're too scared of a spooky ghost that flicks the lights on and off.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, scary. So they leave with nothing happening to them. And then the mall Santa gets mad and is like, I thought I told you to get that worthless piece of shit, terrible dog that everybody hates, Toby. And we're like, yeah, that's Toby. Everybody hates that dog.
Man, that dog really fucking sucks.
So then their next plan is to go back to the house, now when the family's there, and ring the doorbell, and say that they're Toby's owners, wearing clothes they got from the thrift store the day before, because one of them is wearing an Ireland green sweater.
Yeah, it's the green like polo that says Ireland on it.
I don't know why. It's supposed to be like a Christmassy outfit, but it's clearly just something he got at the thrift store.
They definitely thrifted that. Yeah, the minute we saw that, we were okay, so they went down to Goodwill. Costuming.
You got to keep that budget low.
You got.
I get it.
Yeah,
but
this is. Hey man, you can't make a profit on $250,000 if you're spending money on costumes. You go to that fucking Goodwill and buy it.
But then they're just like, "Oh, that's our dog," and Morgan, the little girl's like, "No, it's not."
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Repeat this for like a minute and a half to drag out the runtime.
All right, how much do we need to make it to 90? Get another 30 seconds in there.
And then for literally no reason at all, Toby's like, no, I need to go with them. Actually.
There's a lot of just no reason at all other than, hey, how long do we need to make a movie again? 90 minutes? Okay, so, yeah.
Again, Toby can teleport.
He's talking about how he's lost this teleport. You can just teleport anywhere at any time.
Yep. Anyway, so they take him to the mall so they can do their hacking of credit card numbers through the mall's Wi-Fi.
And they needed the magic dog for this because not at all. They just were going to use him for something else later, maybe. It's a tool for later.
I guess. It's a tool for later. So one of the criminals sits on his own laptop and breaks it, which causes the mall alarm to go off.
Well, dude, when you start hacking the mall alarm,
the mall mainframe,
the mall mainframe, then the mall anti-hacker system starts going off if you don't do it within a certain time.
You know what my favorite part of the hacking scene was?
Mm-hmm.
The Pinky Swear song.
Oh God.
Which you should play in full so that everyone can suffer.
Database is set. Loading. Ooh, that's a lot of credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do with your cut of the money?
You don't want to know?
Yeah.
No, seriously. You can't tell anybody. You got a super pinky swear.
We haven't done that since we were 10.
You want to know, trust me.
I don't really want to know that bad.
It's juicy. You want to know.
Alright, fine.
Pinky swear, it's a secret we don't dare tell our mother or a grizzly bear. Pinky swear, lips are sealed, mouths are shut. We won't squeal, not for Pizza Hut. We won't tell, not a soul. If you do, a lump of coal. Even worse, go to jail, 25 to life without bail.
He used to go up like falsetto.
Did I not do the falsetto? Yeah. Huh. Well, let's do it again. Pinky swear.
Because goddamn that Pinky Swear song. But they leave the dog because the alarm's going off, and it's going to take the mall cops 4 to 6 minutes exactly to get to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not enough time to grab the dog and run, apparently. So then the mall cops and the real cops show up, and there's a fucking Columbo that just comes out of nowhere.
Oh, this was fucking weird.
And Columbo's like, yeah, I hope this is quick. I just had some, like, diarrhea-inducing food, and I got the squirts, and I got shit everywhere.
All right, sir. Well, we found this dog here, and all these toys and stuff that just are kind of scattered around. So, what would you like us to do with it? Here's the dog right over there.
Yeah, and Columbo's like looking at this thing, like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, he immediately goes, Jesus Christ, what the hell is that thing? And it's like, what?
Sir, that's a dog. A what?
This is the bit
do you know
they
what a
went
dog
with.
is? Do you know what a dog is, Columbo?
Why was this
Why
a
is
bit?
this a thing? What's the joke? Where are we going with this?
This is a one that really doesn't land because it's super strange. The dude is just freaked out that it's a dog, and they're like, and everybody else in the scene goes, wait, has he never seen a dog before? And they're all like, kind of, is the chief okay?
I guess.
And then that's just the scene.
That's the scene. Well,
that's just it.
I think he tells the other officer to get it away from him, get it out of his sight. The officer's like, don't worry, we're going to euthanize him. We've sent that dog to dog prison.
Yeah. Now you know it's a real dog movie. Dog prison. It's probably been like 20 episodes, at least.
I think Bingo was the last good dog prison.
Yeah, for good dog prisons, there's not a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a pretty decent dog prison, because you got Bulldozer and Wink.
Yeah. They're not like singing songs about how sad they are. They're clinking all the bars. But they are yelling at them aggressively. Be like, hey, what you in for, you fucking loser?
Hey, fresh meat.
Hey, fresh meat. They're doing all that shit. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna do so many things to you later.
Oh man, just wait until you get in the showers. Yeah, that's that.
And then one dog is sitting across from Toby. Toby, by the way, who can teleport. Wink. Toby, by the way, who can teleport out of this cage at any moment. Mm-hmm. Which is not a plot point and definitely won't come up. Fucking movie. This other dog is like, don't worry, I won't hurt you. I'm just here to talk about your problems. And this dog is so scared of being in this cage. I
felt so bad about this
And they should have got a different dog. Because this dog did not want to be there. This dog was scared that they were leaving it alone. And it just wanted to go out and cuddle its owner.
It was really cute. It had one eye, which is why it was Wink.
It had one eye, and that's why they chose that dog, but they shouldn't have.
No.
That dog was having such a bad time on screen that it distracts entirely from whatever the fuck that dog was supposed to be saying in that scene.
Yeah, because it's sitting there, and it's basically his support animal out of nowhere. Like,
I guess.
You know, you go to prison, and your cellmate's just like, hey man, do you need to talk about things? We can meditate together if you want. Like, what was your childhood like? Like, it's just totally doing this with him. And he's like, just dumping out all of the stuff that he's had. He's like, I think I might be a real piece of shit.
I think everybody kind of hates me. Shit. And then Toby's like, I should do something about that. So then he teleports out of the cage and leaves every other dog in dog prison alone to go die their horrible dog prison death.
He's also this is a scene that's been going on for like 10 minutes.
It sure has.
Like, they've been going back and forth to dog prison and different things and showing that he's there. It's this whole big plot point. They take him away and he's been in a cage. And also, like, the criminals caught him and abducted him from the house and put him in a cage and had him in the mall. And then he just teleports away from all of it and goes, all right, well, I'm done with that. That was some good filler. That's it's really helping out the runtime of this bad boy.
Now we're done with this
getting real
scene,
close
yeah.
to 90 minutes. And like you said, he leaves all the dogs in, which for some of them, when they're threatening him, it's kind of like, okay, you can maybe see that. Why the fuck did he leave Wink in
Why'd
there?
you leave Wink in there, man?
When Wink is like, this dog is shaking when it's in the cage, is why you were saying that it's
so scared.
It's so scared. It does not like being in there, and he just leaves it. Just fucking leaves his good therapy friend there.
I'm starting to think that Toby might be a bad dog that everybody hates.
Toby is a bad dog that everybody hates. The movie just acknowledges it so many times. It's really strange.
So at some point, the elves get put on television.
Yes.
And they're like, they stole this dog. We found this dog at the mall with these crime elves that are known by the police. And that goes on the TV at the bar and at the house. And everybody's watching the news, I guess.
We didn't really mention the bar too much. We did the tequila scene. Yeah,
tequila,
we
yeah.
did. Yeah.
We
So
did, yeah.
so now he's friends with all the bikers.
Because
and I
Leroy's
noticed
friend.
that,
That's why I
yes.
said there was a tequila scene.
Yes, right.
off
Yeah,
screen.
I forgot that we did mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Morgan, the little girl who originally found the dog, carjacks her mom's minivan
Yup.
and drives down the streets of Iowa City, to the mall at night, in the middle of the night.
I really do wonder. I'd love to know if they just like stealth had somebody swerving all over the road without actually getting approval to do it.
Yeah, they had to have. But so for some reason, because they got scared away mid-hack last time, the elves and the bad mall Santa are back at the mall. Morgan goes to the mall to go confront the bad crime elves, I guess. And then the dog also shows up. He's like, I'm gonna get those crime elves. That's what the guy in dog
point
prison
I need to
said.
finish.
and then we get a spaghetti western, like Mexican standoff.
Yes.
And the crime elves go after the dog, but they can't get him because he's too fast. And then they knock themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the only thing that ever happens to anybody. The dog never does anything to anyone.
Yeah, those crime elves try to chase down... Forget that he's a magically teleporting dog for a second. He's a Jack Russell Terrier. You ain't fucking catching that dog. That dog's got energy forever. It's like you this morning with your mochi donut.
Yeah, I had like way too much sugar this morning. If that's not obvious. So I did lie. The dog. I said the dog never did anything to anybody. I lied. The dog did blast Skeet all over that one face that one time. He threw a snowball at Skeet's face.
He sure
which
did.
is one of the bullies. And when I talk about it that way, do white people in Iowa know what Skeet means?
Which is no.
Have they figured that out yet? It's 2015 in this film. Do they know what Skeet meant?
You always have a bully in a school named Scut or Mutt
nobody's
Skeet,
bully is
apparently
named Cum. Like, nobody's like, wow, I hope Cum doesn't bully me this afternoon. Like, come on.
Apparently one of them is. But, yeah, speaking of, oh, by the way, there's bullies in this movie that we didn't even mention because again,
they're irrelevant.
A 20-second, like, filler scene of the older boy being bullied by other people, whatever.
So the dog is fighting the evil elf crimes. They get knocked out. Mall Santa is like, fuck you, dog, we're doing this. And then Morgan shows up. He's like, no, you're not. That's my dog. And Mall Santa's like, oh, good, a hostage.
Grabs this small child immediately.
Yep, and then the dad shows up after teleporting behind Mall Santa.
Yes, because Mall Santa teleports behind the dog.
They're all nothing personnel kidding each other.
Yes, they chase this dog all over the place, but then this 70-year-old man suddenly is just there at the dog. He's just managed to get behind him. And then it like zooms out slightly and the dad's there. And the dad tries to fight the Santa, but the Santa fucking spin kicks him.
Yep.
And so then it zooms
like
out.
Chun-Li spin kicks him.
Yes, and which is an amazing bit, actually. I wish they had leaned way harder into that. Like, it was actually a good moment. That was a very funny...
And then the mom shows up and flash kicks him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, then they, like, zoom out slightly further, and the mom's behind all of them.
I guess. And then Toby like deals with the elf, the elf crime guys by dragging them on a sleigh. And he's like, "Well, I'm doing it. I'm pulling a sleigh like Santa wanted."
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much slack in the rope that you mentioned that like there's no way that dog's pulling anything.
Yeah, because it does it from like a behind the dog shot of like the dog running and pulling it. But it's just a very obviously like it's just the rope. There's no way there's anything attached to it.
How did they take out the elf, like the evil elves?
Well, oh god. I mean, so he drags them on a sleigh through the mall and then jumps over the plot convenient. They set it up earlier because they had all the security guards sitting in
the mall cops, yeah.
The mall cops were in the vibrating chairs that are in the mall.
American malls have vibrating massage chairs that you put $1 in and
so
then
do
it just
Canadian
does
ones.
nothing. It does nothing.
No. Yeah,
nothing happens.
They're trash. But when he drags the sled over top of it, he crashes them into it. And then it shows them going, ooh,
and they get vibrated.
Being electrocuted, but they're just being, like, gently vibrated. They make it seem like it's electrocuting them, almost. Like, they get shaken.
Yeah, so the dog fighting
very
the mall
gently.
Santa, the dad punching the mall Santa, and the mom flash kicking him is not enough to take out mall Santa.
No.
So mall Santa takes Morgan as a hostage, as we expect.
Again, yeah.
And then Leroy, the elf, teleports behind them.
Yes! I was gonna say, there's one final one! I'm so
guess,
glad you got around to this.
And he does like a fucking gymnastics flip over
He does
to him.
Gymkata.
And
There's
Gymkata's him in the back of the head.
There's a hierarchy, you see. So Dad is just doing, like, street fighting punches. But then the Santa's like, aha, well, actually, I know, like, Hong Kong action films. And the mom goes, aha, well, I know kung fu films. And then you have, like, the ultimate kung fu.
The
Gymkata. Right at the top. There's a hierarchy, boys.
And then the elf's like, hi, I'm Leroy, the elf. And then leaves the movie.
Yes.
Fucking
and also
A.
everybody goes, oh, cool, it's really Leroy the elf.
Cool, it's Leroy
By
the
the
elf.
way, we didn't mention any of this, so I just want to really sell it for people. None of these characters have ever seen each other before.
No.
The dad and the mom are the only two people that have actually seen each other in this scene before. Like, it's not like Santa has seen Leroy the elf, or mom and dad have seen Leroy, or the Santa.
Or the crime elves, or the mall Santa.
None of these characters have ever interacted before at all.
No.
They all just happen to go to the mall at the same time.
So they deal with the crooks, the family goes home, and they find a home invader.
Yep.
That's right, Santa.
It's fucking Santa.
This is
Crime Santa.
This is the same thing as when Ed Asner was a home invader at the end of the Santa movie. It's just like, I'm Ed Asner, I'm here to invade your house.
But we tricked you. You thought that there was only one Crime Santa, but there's two. They're all Crime Santas. Every Santa.
Mr. Belding in a Santa costume is like, okay, Toby, you're no longer a worthless pile of shit. You're only a step up now. You're barely worthless. I guess that means you can come home if you want.
You've been very brave, and so I'd like you to sit in my sleigh.
And not do anything.
They're trying to do a Rudolph the whole time, but they have no idea.
And then
how
Toby's
to
like,
do it.
no, I want to stay home with my family. Well, why not just both? Fuck it.
You can commute.
Who cares? Yeah, you
remote.
can commute.
Have you ever heard of remote work, Toby?
What about contract work? We have good money right now. We're
It's
in
a
the
gig
red, I've
economy.
heard.
God,
Okay.
Santa is operating a fucking Uber-style scheme here, where it's
is.
it's never been profitable. It's never made money. All they are is
Nope.
in the red. But they pay all of their workers contract gigs to make up for it.
Toby, don't you want to be a surveillance dog that makes flash judgment calls on children?
Here,
And
I'll give
how
you
if they
this.
deserve
You have a
things or
cell
not?
phone, right, Toby? You just gotta install our app, and then you can be a gig worker for Santa's elf on a shelf.
Please, they're called seasonal workers. They only work for 3 weeks of the year. And I guess that's up
Why
on
is
the
Santa-
rooftop.
Why
I
is
don't-
Santa gig economy and fucking... Sometimes they used to have a union for Santa's spies. There were times when you could have a family up and being a Santa spy. Now it's
why
all
is
gig
Santa
economy.
outsourcing all of his work to dogs? Like, did he get bored, or is this a? This isn't a
He's
monetary
undercutting.
decision.
This is him to break the elf union. That's what he's doing. He's just bringing in all these dog scabs.
Yeah, but the elf union are cops in this movie.
Okay, that's actually true. Yeah,
The elves are cops, literally.
Yes.
They're dog cops. Anyway.
Well, that's lowering our rating of all these dogs real quick.
Let's rate the dogs.
Let's rate the
I guess.
dogs.
So there's Toby, our quintessential dog of this film. Toby wanders around aimlessly, can leave at any time because he can teleport, but decides not to. Really looks at his watch constantly. He's like, oh, we got that much time left in this movie?
Small side plot diversion, real quick.
That is a dog that can get a film done on time and put to market for a film festival.
With only one trainer.
With only one trainer, unlike every other movie that needs 10 per dog.
Mm-hmm. As the writer-director said in an interview.
I would rate that dog as efficient out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a 1 out of 10. One trainer, one dog. 1 out of 1, actually. There you go.
That makes sense.
With a bullet. How about Wink?
Wink shouldn't have been in this movie.
No, Wink shouldn't have been in this film.
We
Too
say
good
this
for
often.
film.
Some of these dogs need better,
representation.
They need better representation. They need a better, actor.
We need a dog agents in Hollywood.
They need a better agent.
Step up.
That's the word.
Step up.
Yeah.
Step up, dog agents. You guys need to be better for your clients.
I hope that dog's sued.
I was gonna say a class action lawsuit out of 10 for all of the other dogs in this movie. There's a lot of other dogs that are actually really cute, and I would say that the main dog, like Toby, is this really cute Jack Russell. So it was kind of nice. They did a good job at the beginning of showing off like a lot of dogs, because we talk about there's so many of these films that are just a like bait and switch. This one was weird because it was almost the opposite bait and switch, where it would be named Up on the Rooftop and it's pretending to not be a dog film.
I did just remember we forgot to talk about something.
Mm-hmm.
The dad's boss showed up for dinner at some
Oh
point.
my god, right, yes.
And he showed up with his GF, who was drugged out of her fucking mind, doing Dragon Ball Z things.
She literally goes, look, I made the best key ball I've ever made. And just like,
I'm spirit bombing so hard right now.
Not even kidding. That's literal things that happen.
And also I think the boss says something about like, that dog's in league with Satan.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
And that, I'm going to give that boss and his GF a 12 out of 10. They're a good rating. That's a good couple right there.
They see your vibes from across the bar, and you will pick them up. Yeah,
I want whatever she is having.
Absolutely.
God damn, she was blasted out of her fucking mind.
She's having a cocktail of designer drugs that you can't even. It's all like X73B. They're all experimental
Pulp Fiction
shit.
level.
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah. No, she is. She's totally out of her mind. She's sitting there like rubbing the walls.
Yeah.
While they're doing they're playing it up. It's really fun. That's why I'm so sad about this movie, because it is actually kind of close a couple times to being really fun.
Yeah, and I would rate you a 0 out of 10 for Christmasing me on fucking November 3rd. You asshole.
At least they did it to myself too.
Anyway, that's this episode, I guess.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
I'll find out. Oh yeah, wait. We should probably say that we have a Patreon, and I didn't sleep. I'm so tired. I had a charity overnight.
I'm gonna go for a run after this. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, yeah. So that's the podcast. That's Rough Cuts. We have a Patreon. You can give us money to rent movies
for $1.50. So I can make Boyk's 5 dog movies.
I still own a VHS copy of the last movie we just watched, so I can watch that whenever I want. You can also email us at roughcutscast@gmail.com. You follow us on Blue Sky at Roughcuts. Yeah, thank you for supporting the podcast for over 200 episodes and almost 6 years or something.
Very close to 6 years now, yeah.
So, I guess.
It's been rad. I had a lot of fun with this. Maybe not with this one.
Excuse me, I have to go make a nail bat. For no reason at all.
Why did they make her high? Why did they make her so high?
That was for the adults in the audience.
Yeah.
So they could look at her and be like, damn, I wish that was me. And then we watched it and we're like, damn,
I wish that was me.
That looks like something to do in Iowa.
No, that's the real thing to do in Iowa. Hey, Joe, God, what's his name? What's his last name?
Piscopo? Got him.
No, Joe Clark. Writer, producer of this. Hey, Joe Clark, where's your dealer? Where'd you get that? Was that his advertising? Maybe that was the real reason for this movie the whole time. Like, hey,
maybe
I can get you some stuff.
Does he have his own strain? Like, if you go to the weed store and they have a strain called Up on the Wooftop. Are you
in Iowa? If you're going into Iowa, I'm absolutely picking it up in Iowa. If they have the Up in the Wooftop strain,
that's
you gotta be. That's what it's doing. Maybe that's why he's got his mansion. He's just invested in all of the local Iowa dispensaries, and this is his advertising campaign.
Y'all was smoking weed? I was over in my mansion.